Welcome back. Florida is poised now for an exciting November showdown with Republican Marco Rubio, Independent Charlie Crist, and Democrat Kendrick Meek battling it out in a three-way face-off for Florida's U.S. Senate seat. You heard from Congressman Meek just a couple of minutes ago. Now to the winner of last night's Republican primary.
Joining us now, Senate nominee Marco Rubio. Good morning, Mr. Rubio.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Great to see you. Okay, so Kendrick Meek won last night, as you know, and he basically has said that he is now running against two conservatives, and that you and Charlie Crist share positions and you share the same sort of record. What's your response to him?
Well, I think conservatives would be taken aback by the notion that Charlie Crist is a conservative. The reality is that this race is me running against two supporters of the direction that Washington's taking the United States of America. I'm in this race because I think Washington's wrong. I think both parties are to blame, quite frankly, for this, but we've never seen anything like the last 18 months. The direction that Washington, D.C. and the leadership in Washington is taking America is going to rob us of our exceptionalism. That's why I got in this race 18 months ago. I'm still the only one running that's offering an alternative to the direction Washington is taking us.
Marco, as the official nominee now, what changes? You know exactly who you're going against. You know Charlie Crist, but you also, there's a bit of a wild card. You're not sure what Charlie Crist is going to do. For example, he came out and said, I want to ban all offshore drilling. Next thing you know, he's got a key Obama aide as one of his chief aides. What do you expect in terms of sizing up your opponent?
Well, let me tell you this. One of the biggest problems we have in Washington today are politicians that are going to say or do anything to get elected. You know, they refuse to take positions on issues. They go back and forth based on the polls. They refuse to offer any concrete public policy, and then they hide under this mantle of being moderate. So that's not being a moderate. That's being an opportunist. That's what I expect to see continually in this campaign. But we already have too many people like that in Washington. Here's the bottom line. I am running against two supporters of the Obama agenda. If people like the direction Washington's taking America, they should vote for Kendrick Meek or Charlie Crist. But if they want their next U.S. Senator from Florida to be someone that will go to Washington, stand up to this agenda, and offer a clear alternative, I'm the only one running that's going to do that.
Well, you know what, Marco, that sounds like that would be a really good political ad, and I'm sure you're going to be buying a bunch of them betwixt now and November, but it's going to take a lot of money. I have read that you've got about $4.5 million in the bank right now, but Charlie Crist has got $8 million, a lot of it raised when he was still a Republican. And there's some people down in Florida who are upset because, hey, wait a minute, I donated the money to the Republican guy, but now he's an independent guy. I'd like my money back.
Well, it's part of the same pattern I've talked about of opportunism, and I think that's becoming starkly apparent to voters here in Florida. We already have too many people like that, by the way, in Washington. It's one of the reasons why nothing ever gets fixed, why nothing ever positive happens from that city. But look, here's the bottom line. We're going to have all the resources we need to compete. You know, I encourage people to get involved in our election across the country that are watching this program. If they want the next U.S. Senator from Florida to be someone that will stand up to this agenda coming from Washington and offer a clear alternative, that's what our campaign's about. We're the only ones offering that.
So, Mr. Rubio, what do Floridians not know about you that would surprise them this morning?
Yeah, give us a scoop.
Yeah, well, I don't function that well on 3 hours of sleep, so we need to... Yeah, there's not enough Cuban coffee in the world to compensate after a couple of days. Look, this race has been a tremendous blessing and opportunity for us. I'm a generation removed from a very different kind of life, and my parents struggled and worked very hard so that I could have opportunities. I owe that to this country and to God's blessings, and this is my chance to pay some of that back through public service. I hope I get the chance to do that.
All right. Well, Marco Rubio joined us this morning from Florida. Congratulations on your landslide yesterday. Now, next up, November.